Hello everybody and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the AYoN.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
And I'm TV New.
And we're here for more of our top 5s, going into our top 4s. And today's top 4, it's Gav's top 4. Gav, what's your top 4?
It's called Number 6.
I won't make the joke. What's it about?
Oh god, do you want me to describe what happens in these episodes, or just tell you what it's about?
I mean, isn't that the same thing?
I guess so. So, we have this boy named Shion, and he lives in the city called Number 6. As,
That's the name of the
title.
show.
Yeah. Yeah, as the title tells you. And it's like an ideal city, I guess. And he's, you know, he has like he's in these classes as a 12-year-old, and in this like elite perfect city, and he is going to like, they do a lot of talking at the beginning, him and his friend Safu, about I guess how he's going to like enroll in the elite class because he like had high scores when he was like 2 or something.
Yes, they keep saying that he's gifted.
Yeah.
Which, as someone who was said that he was gifted when he was a kid, not great when you're an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're talking about like getting into the gifted class and everything. And there's at the beginning there's a typhoon that is like hitting Number 6. And well, I guess like unimportant stuff happened first, really. He like goes to school, and then he goes over to Safu's house. She gives him a gift, an ugly sweater to match her ugly sweater.
Well, that was a gift from the grandma.
It was for both.
That was grandma's gift. She had her own gift that she wanted to give him.
Oh.
Oh yeah, just a
true.
kiss.
Yeah, just like the same thing his mom gives him for his birthday. What the hell?
Yeah, And she asks for his sperm for the first time.
No, not yet.
As a 12-year-old, yeah, she definitely does.
She did not say that as a 12-year-old. That was way later.
I think she said it.
No.
I think she said something about reproduction, but she did not
it was
say
something.
She does. That's right.
She's
That's
like
right.
super like into neurology and stuff. As a 12-year-old, she clearly already wants to be like a doctor and all this other sort of stuff. And she's in the school that I guess you're all taking college level courses, you know, right in middle school. And yeah, she says something about like, you know, I only did it because of biological, you know, impulses in the brain for reproductive purposes, blah, 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 blah. She didn't just come out and be like, hey, I want your 12-year-old spunk.
That was 2
Yeah,
years
not
later.
yet.
I should never say 12-year-old spunk. That's just weird. Even if it makes sense in context, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. So anyway, she's like, says something about basically like reproduction, and it's a little weird. And then he goes home, and he's kind of just staring outside at the storm, and he opens like the screen doors, and he screams out into like the rain, because I guess he thinks no one can hear him. Yes. And then his security system goes off. And it turns out that there's, you know, a boy who broke into his house. And this boy, who calls himself Rat, is injured. He said he got shot. So, like, Shion is like, hey, come on in, I'll fix you up. I know some stuff about, I guess, fixing like medicine and sewing.
He's in
like,
doctorate courses. He has to know at least how to treat a gunshot wound. Like these are kids who for whatever reason are getting ready for medical school at 12.
Yeah, even though he said he's into like ecology.
Yeah.
Is that like bacteria or something?
No,
or
ecology is the
No.
study of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's still like a biology thing. You have to pass a biology course to get into ecology, I bet.
I mean, ecology, yes, but it requires absolutely none of the same knowledge.
Yeah, you don't need to know medicine for that.
You know what? I'm going to go with his friend is super into being a doctor, and she's going to have to take a general medical course at some point. I'm more than willing to bet he had to go along with it.
I don't know.
He knows how to treat a wound somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Somehow he knows how to treat a wound, so he does that.
Oh, I think it had something to do with, like, he looked up an article about vascular suturing or something like that. Sorry, I've been reading the manga.
And yeah, so he does that. He, like, fixes Rat's wound. I hate calling him Rat.
That's his name.
I mean, Nezumi is, like, rat. Yeah, so I've just always called him Nezumi, but, like, watching the dub and just hearing him be called Rat, just straight out, is so weird.
I mean, that's also what they call him in the manga, too. They don't call him Nezumi, they call him Rat as well.
Oh, I know, I have all of the manga, but it's just weird. Anyway, so, yeah, so he treats his wounds and stuff, and I guess they find out that he's a wanted fugitive.
Yep. He escaped from the law.
Yeah. And so he gets, like, because he harbored a fugitive, he gets stripped of his, like, privileges as an elite citizen.
Mm-hmm. After Rat did the walk of shame without letting anyone know he was leaving.
Yeah. And
what a husk.
So and so he lives in the suburbs with his mom now, and then it jumps to like 4 years later, so now he's 16, and he's working at a waste disposal center.
No, it's the park maintenance.
Yeah. Well,
he just happens to take out the trash every now and then.
Yeah. But he learns, I guess, of, like, a weird, like, parasite that lives in... Well, it was, like, they find a body. They find a body, and he sees, like, this body looks like it's supposedly, like, a 31-year-old man, but he looks like he aged rapidly. He looks like an old man. And
he's an old man with a black spot on his neck, and a wasp comes out, and he's like, "Oh shit, wasps!"
It doesn't come out of that man. It comes out of his friend.
It was starting to come out of that man, and then they got we flashed away from it, so we didn't get to see. Yeah. We probably got pulled away or whatever, but we didn't get to see what was going to happen. We know what was happening. We know exactly what was happening. But then he had a date.
Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure she thought of it as that.
Probably. But he, I guess Safu's moving away to wherever,
she's studying abroad in
number 5. Yeah. Number 5. And so this is when she asks for his sperm.
Yep.
And that's...
Yeah, she makes a whole deal of, hey, why didn't you try for the gifted program? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you, follow me into all this, cool stuff, big academia stuff? I thought we were going to do this together. And he's like, oh, it just didn't happen. He doesn't want to, talk about the fact that he's, probably on a government watch list because he was he helped an escaped fugitive. And she's like, and she's like, you're not even jealous of me or anything, because you're smiling and all that. How are you so content with being so mediocre? Mm-hmm. And then she's like, I still want your dick.
Yeah. Yep.
So bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, I kind of just see you as a friend.
Yeah.
You really want to hurt someone.
Yeah, and so that happens, and then
he was more interested in a mouse.
Yeah, and then he sees a mouse rat thing, and he hears Rat's voice when he is like, it climbs up him and hears like rat whispering in his ear, and he's like, "Rat, is that you?" So then he goes chasing after this like mouse rat thing, and
Rat saw what was going down. He's like, "Stay away from my man."
Yeah, sure.
She didn't have a chance. Poor
and
girl.
so he chases after the rat, blah blah blah, and then he's at work, I guess, either the next day or maybe a couple days later. I'm not really sure, but anyway, he's at work and he like is talking to his coworker about the body they found and how it looked like an old man, even though it was a 31-year-old, and then he says something about, like, maybe number 6 is, like, hiding something from us, like, hiding information, and his friend kind of freaks out and is like, "How could you say that?" And then his friend, like, starts screaming, and he starts aging rapidly, and then he dies, and the bee comes out of his neck, and I guess Shion passes out, because then he wakes up, and the, like, I guess, government people are there.
The feds done got him.
Yeah, they're there, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what you're talking about. We disposed of the body, and then you also said this thing which shows you're a traitor, and you also housed that fugitive, like, years ago, and so basically you're just... Yeah, come in with us." And so he gets into the cop car, and then they basically tell him, "You're not going to where, like, we're not taking you into, like..."
You're about to get ghosted.
Yeah, you're about to go to, like, prison.
No, he's not going to prison. He's going to, like, a black site. Like,
he's never coming back.
We're gonna put you in a hole that no one's gonna ever find.
Well, they don't tell you that right now.
Oh, you know that's what it is. If this was going to be one of those, like, we're going to have a record of you, they would have taken him to the station. This is, you are going to disappear, and no one's ever going to know about you again.
Like, here's the thing. It's just the fact that, like, at this point, people go to prison. No one ever comes back. They just assume that. So it's not like a black site. Yeah. That is just what their prison system is.
I get that, but if they were like... But they clearly took him from his work and are taking him straight there, no paperwork, no nothing. He's getting disappeared.
Regardless, he's not coming back.
Yeah, what I'm just saying, there's a difference between being, you're a prisoner, there's a record of you being a prisoner, versus this guy just disappeared one day and we have no idea what happened.
You don't think there would be a
record?
No.
The thing is like, if you are arrested, you are basically guilty.
Yeah,
that is essentially how it works.
I get that, but it's like, they're not even telling anyone that he's gone.
That's kind of the point.
I'm just saying, if you're arrested, there's records of stuff. I'm saying that it's not a big difference, but there's a difference.
I mean, we don't know now if there's records.
Either way, they're taking him somewhere, and that's bad. And he's not going to come back, and he's freaking out. And I think it's just, like, lost in translation, kind of. Like, where specifically they're taking him. No. Listen. You know what I mean. Like, the translation's just, like, a little funky. But anyway. So they're taking him somewhere, and then once they get, like, past, I guess, kind of, like, the city, like, out of the... wherever he was staying, and they're, like, crossing a bridge over to, like, I guess, a facility that, Nezumi Rat, he places, like, some robot trash collector thing that in the middle of the road to, like, distract the feds, and then he jumps on top of the, like, one of the Fed guy who, like, got out of the car and then, like, jumps over and, like, basically, like,
he pulls some Batman shit.
He immobilizes everyone. And yeah, and so he gets in the car with Shion, and then they're out of there. He's like, "I'm saving you because you saved me." And yeah.
I don't know your shit after this.
And so yeah, and then he makes Shion, like, get rid of his, like, bracelet because they're using it to, like, they can track him with it.
Well, I mean, first they were redrawing the car. They, like, put it on remote control so they couldn't get away. The goat starts going back. Rat rigs up a bomb in the car, and they jump out. And you're forgetting the cool action-y parts, man.
I don't need to say every little thing that happens.
Dude, they should have seen this if they were going to listen to us.
All right. But anyway, after a blowing up the car montage and throwing away the bracelet, they go, like...
They find another car to blow up.
They find some, like, dinky little, like, car that transports probably, like...
It's one of those little, you see them in, like, anime a lot. It's the little, flatbed pickup mini thing.
Yeah. And so they get one of those, and they, like, go to this, I guess, like...
It's a sewage plant.
Basically. And so they go diving into this gross water.
After another quick chase scene.
Yeah, which is really
And another
funny.
wrecked car. They're not good drivers.
No. But he puts on goggles.
And you don't want that in your eyes.
Yeah, and he goes diving into the, I guess, sewers, and now they're swimming to get out of number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out of number 6. And, and he's like, so what do you think of what lies beyond the walls of number 6?
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, he says, welcome to the real world, Shion, and I was like, oh, he should have said, welcome to the real world, jackass. But, you know, and,
they're outside the wall.
They're outside the wall, and they're in Nezumi, or Rat's house, I guess.
We should say, they're in a shanty town, basically. Like,
yeah.
that's cropped up just outside the wall for all the people who couldn't afford to live inside of it.
Yep.
It's like just a whole bunch of, like, makeshift slums.
Yep. And so they're in his house, and there's a lot of stuff about what you don't know Shakespeare, you don't know Macbeth, like, and then, cue Nezumi doing a bad recitation of Macbeth, and then he's bathing, and he's, like, getting dressed, and he notices, like, Nezumi's like, why do you have black marks all over your hands? And, Shion's like, oh no, there's a black mark on my neck too, and he's like, cut it off, because he knows that's where the bee's gonna come out of him. He tells him about the bee first, and then that happens, and then I guess Nezumi extracts it.
He saw Attack on Titan. He knew what to do.
Sure.
It's kind of in the same spot.
Yeah, and so he extracts the bee. Well, I guess at this point it's like not a bee yet, but you know.
It's a pupa.
He extracts the pupa of the bee from Shion, and Shion has like all these pink stripes on his body now, and he wakes up like 3 days later with like white hair, hence I guess the, you know, title scene where he has white hair, and the ending theme where he has white hair, and now you got your white-haired anime boy.
Yeah, white-haired anime boy with a bunch of like big long stripes going all the way down his body like a gay little avatar.
Sure. and so then Nezumi takes him to a hotel where there's an owner called Dog Keeper, and she, like, I guess, you know, rents out the space to people who need it, who don't have anywhere to go, and lets her dogs, like, warm the people as they sleep, which I think is cute.
That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Like, I forget if it was like Malamutes or something. They were kind of like bred, one, as work dogs, but like they lived in like really cold, harsh conditions, and like a big thing for them was like lying on top of people for warmth, like to give their like owners warmth.
Mm-hmm. yeah, so she does that, and I guess she also, like, gets information for Rat, and, Rat had, like, sent, I guess, a message to Shion's mother because Shion had wanted to, like, let her know what had happened and that he was okay, basically. And, so it shows that Rat cares because he gets the message back from Dogkeeper, that, like, you know, she wrote back to Shion. And then Shion is basically like, all these bees are gonna hatch from people, and everyone's gonna age rapidly and die, and we need to stop this from... Yeah, we need to stop the bees. Fuck the bees, man. We need to stop the bees.
Not the bees.
And Rat is like, well, if you try to help number 6, you're my enemy. And it ends there. Yeah, but that's a long Cliff Note version of the first 3 episodes.
Yep. So, initial thoughts. Boy, isn't Rat an angsty boy.
Yeah.
He is very tsundere in this, in my opinion.
I don't remember him being so, like, angsty in the sub. But
did you watch the dub this time?
Yeah. But it's also been a long-ass time since I've watched it. Like, I watched it back in high school, and now I'm, like, way out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It could just be that it's been forever since I've watched it, but he seems a lot angstier.
I don't know, because, like, I watched it, and then I also was, like, reading the manga here a little bit, you know, before we got on, and I was not really getting the angsty vibe. I was getting more of he was being just a bit of a snarky asshole vibe.
Yeah, that's what I get too. I don't see him as angsty. I think he has an attitude, but I don't know about angst.
Alright. He's a bit of a dick, though.
I think he's meant to be, like, kind of a dickish, witty sort of person. At least that's what I get from it.
I think that just kind of comes with sort of...
Huh.
I think that just kind of comes with sort of, like, the kind of personification he's trying to give off of himself, more that he's, like, trying not to get too attached to anything. So he's trying not to let himself care.
Yeah.
If you weren't going to try to get attached to something, why did you save it from going to a hole?
I don't know, because he felt like he owed him a debt.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The one good guy in number 6, and I just happen to be super attracted to him as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but sure.
You don't know why he's attracted to Shion, or what?
Yeah.
Poor Shion. He's not that ugly.
Well, it's not that he's ugly. He's
he's not. He's just
this is almost ironic because his hair turned white, but Shion's a little white bread.
I mean, he's an anime protagonist. Like, what do you want from him?
A personality?
Yeah. He's kind of what you'd expect, you know? I don't dislike him.
He's a little bit of the audience surrogate in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, like, very odd compared to, like I guess, Rat does call him insane.
Yeah.
He was talking to him, like, when they were 12 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you mean when they were 12 and he sounded like a 30-year-old man?
Yeah, what was with that?
Yeah.
I hated it.
They just couldn't find young people to do the voice acting.
It's so weird.
Like,
you know, they found someone that worked for Shion, I think, for the most part.
But that just sounded weird when he was older.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think it
I
sounded
like
just like a
it.
16-year-old version of that 12-year-old.
No.
No.
I mean, ultimately, all I can hear is Leo from Ghost Stories.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't do it.
Gregarious.
So there's someone with a personality.
I was wondering why his voice sounded familiar.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
he's that, and he's also Karu from Oran.
Yeah.
I liked the sub way better. The dub was weird.
It was a little bit weird. I feel
Um,
like I recognized a couple of different people in this, and just, yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. The dub was very unsettling, and then also I don't know if you noticed this, but I tried watching it on YouTube at first, and I was like, oh god, they pitched it, and so I could not watch it. I could not watch it on YouTube. I had to go to another site and watch the dub because I was like, they pitched it up.
that'd be bad.
I think they kind of had to, which honestly surprises me because the licensing agreement for this show in the US, or at least in North America, has expired.
Doesn't always matter. Like, sometimes it, like, YouTube kind of has, like, international elements to it, so...
True.
Yeah.
I guess.
It probably got tagged on the visuals, is the main thing.
Yeah.
But it was bad. I was trying to watch it, and I heard them like screaming, and I was like, I can't do it. But yeah, so I was like, all right, I gotta find another site to watch this on. So I did, but yeah, the dub is just not great. But the sub, from what I remember, is better than that. But again, like, it's been a while, so who knows. But it's also kind of hard to tell when it's not your native language, like, how, like, good the voices fit the characters.
I mean, I don't know. I think, like, to some degree, no matter what language you're speaking, I think when a certain pitch or tone comes out of something, you know, you have certain expectations for it. Like, and granted, I think to some degree you are right. Like, you know, I can't really speak to what the sub is going with their inflection or their line reads or whatever. We could probably listen to the worst Japanese dub of something and be like, wow, this is probably great. But, you know, yeah. I think, you know, you can usually tell if a character fits, like, their voice.
I don't know.
Like, if a kid sounds like a kid, like, if... I'm assuming the dub did not have Rat sounding like a 30-year-old man at the age of 12, is what I'm saying. So. I feel like that would be... You would just see that and be like, oh, that doesn't work. You'd hear that and, like, no.
Yeah, but...
So... I think for anything that, like, they would do with dubbing over in Japan, I think, like, some voice actors do dubbing for foreign materials and others do not. I will say that, like, watching certain dubbings of, like, other films, like, yeah, sometimes I do get a voice that fits and sometimes it just does not.
Yeah.
And not good.
Yeah, so you can kind of tell that a little bit.
I don't know. You can, but it's, like, sometimes harder to. But, either way, this dub was just not great.
No.
But, yeah.
But the dub aside, how is the story? How are the characters? That's what we're really here for.
Yeah. Well, I still like it. Like, from... when I watched it back then, like, it's still, you know, it's only the first 3 episodes, so it's kind of, like, hard to just judge off the first 3, which is why we've gone on to, like, watch more of stuff, in the past, but, I still think I like it just, you know, based off of the first 3 episodes. It's definitely interesting and makes you want to, like, watch more, in my opinion, to see, like, what happens. So...
I'll agree with that. I think, like, no matter what, like, we're already seeing, like, clearly this is some sort of fascist utopia. So, and we clearly have someone who is against that and probably working to overthrow it in some form or fashion. I'm down to see that. You know, we mentioned Gay V for Vendetta before, and, you know, I'm seeing the similarities. He's got a cape. He saved his helpless individual from being taken by the secret police and then took them back to an underground hideout filled with illegal old world contraband of the arts.
Well, you're the one who originally called it that.
I did call it that because it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, as far as that goes, like, here's the thing. I enjoyed V for Vendetta, whether it was the comic or the movie. I think both, like, I think the comic is probably better in, like, as far as the depths that it goes to for a lot of things, but the movie's still fun. And to some degree, I think I was right in saying to Envy that this was kind of like the movie a little bit. But yeah, so far we got a decent setup. And, you know, even if I'm not in love with the characters right now, I could see them doing things and going about stuff. Because now the plan is we got to warn people about the bees and figure out what's going on because they're going to have a hibernation sequence because winter's coming. So by spring, either everybody's going to burst with bees or, you know, they're going to save them somehow. And we got two people who are very opposed to what they want to do with this against each other. What is like, let them all die. Let those rich fuckers who fuck everybody else in the world, let them die. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. And the other one's like, no, they're people. We gotta help them. We gotta save them. So I feel like, now granted, I've also seen this. I saw it like after it came out in like 2012 or something. So I'm not remembering everything as well. But
yeah, I think that's when I saw it as well.
Yeah. I think for the most part here, you have a good dynamic for maybe a bit of a philosophical debate of like, you know, what they both want to do. Like you have one who's like, this is unfair, it's unequal, and, you know, they've like, clearly they done shit to Rat. And he probably has a very legitimate reason to have some grievances. On the other hand, you also have the argument of like, okay, even if people were benefiting from it, are people innocent in this? In like, yes, they benefited, but they didn't do it. There's a whole debate there, I think. You know, obviously the guy doesn't want his mom to die. That'd be bad. And yeah. I don't know, I could see a lot of, I guess, ethical philosophy coming out of this, or at least a debate. I don't know how deep you can get with 11 episodes, though. That's my only thing. I'm betting this was probably, to some degree, a little bit better in the manga. If I'm gonna be honest and making a guess, because I do kind of remember how it ends, and I remember not liking it.
So, from where I'm out of the manga right now, which isn't that far, there's like some other stuff going on that Gav hasn't really touched upon. I don't know if you're just because you're doing the Cliff Notes version that you like didn't touch upon these parts, but
I think he touched upon everything that was relevant.
I mean, everything that was relevant, but I don't know if it like if we got
there was,
like
the only thing that I would say that he kind of skipped over was the thing with his mom has a muffin or a bakery, and a guy came in. And
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think that's important because he's like a reporter. That's your source for getting this out to the larger media, I think. I think that's the only reason that scene was there. Otherwise, wow, that would be totally pointless.
Okay, so
unless it was totally pointless, and he, you know, was there like, honestly, I was just making jokes the whole time that they were there. Like, your muffins are the best in the city, and your baking isn't too bad either.
Okay, because like there was just some stuff going on like midway through volume 2 that I was just like, huh, okay, this is some interesting stuff. All right.
But was it in the anime?
Yeah, Gav, how much
well,
of
at
the
least
manga...
hasn't been touched upon so far.
Well,
and we haven't really met Dogkeeper yet at this point in the manga, though.
Okay, then there was stuff that was missing from the anime. I'm more than willing to bet that because, like, I don't... Gav, if you've read more of this, you gotta let me know, how much of the series does the anime cover? Like, is it a couple volumes, or...
I don't know. I haven't read it since I watched it, so it's been a long time.
I mean, it was okay. So it's like adapted from a novel series.
Yeah, which has like 9 volumes. There's no way you could get that in 11 episodes.
Well, the manga has also 9 volumes, so they may have just stripped parts out that they didn't really think were necessary.
That's fair, and I've seen that done well. Like Michael Crichton did the screenplay for Jurassic Park after he wrote the book, and they're vastly different, but they're both good. But at the same time, they were adapting it again.
It's almost like you're adapting 40 minutes for an entire novel. That's like 200 pages. That should not happen.
Like, I don't know if we want to get into like some spoilery talk, but I could talk a little bit about like I had some issues with the ending. Because I do remember having a lot of grievances about it when I watched it. The ending of this series.
Oh.
Are you talking about the wind people?
Yeah, or whatever they were.
I haven't gotten that far. Don't talk.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. You haven't seen the show?
No!
Oh, I thought you saw it in an anime club.
No,
that was the year before they were there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you had all seen it before. Sorry.
Nope.
Look, Chibs, if it's any consolation, it means nothing. It really means nothing. Yeah, okay. I can't talk about... Okay. What are you more interested in, the manga or the anime at this point?
Me?
Yeah. I can go into vagueness and just talk general, like, without detail if we need to.
Gav? Do you remember how close the endings are for each of them? Like, are they similar enough that it would be spoilery?
I think it's probably going to be spoilery no matter which one you
I'm
like.
I'm not gonna go into any details. I can dumb down my whole grievance.
You could always take off your headphones for a second.
True.
So
Look, for me,
it.
I think for the anime, the ending felt really rushed, and they threw in a bunch of plot lines at random that felt unestablished and didn't pay off. That's all. It just felt like a very rushed anime ending where they were like, I guess we're not getting another season. We can't do anything else. So we're gonna cram the last 3 episodes full of a bunch of stuff where people were just going like, well, what the fuck is going on now?
I think they might have mentioned that stuff earlier on in the manga.
It probably would have made a lot more sense. I think, like, I don't know, like, a lot of times with, like, shorter series like this, I feel like they really want to focus on the characters to get you to, like, really focus on them and their relationship.
And that's fine, but the whole premise here is also the bees, which is good because that's a major plot element throughout the series. I don't think I'm making any spoilers there.
No.
But if that's going to be the case, you know, you want to focus on your characters and the bee plot and all that, the plot with the wasps. I'm going to call them wasps because I can't call it the bee plot. Because that's...
Yeah.
Well, the B plot is technically the B plot, I guess. So,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it is.
All right,
the A plot is the romance.
The A plot, yes.
Yeah.
It focuses on the A plot with the romance. Great. That is what a lot of people are there for. But at the same time, your B plot is kind of the whole catalyst for the narrative. It's kind of like the whole, like, reason these two are together. Which kind of makes it more of an A plot when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a semi-A, semi-B plot.
Yeah.
It's A-B positive. I don't know. And...
It's like an overarching plot.
Yes, it's the overall... The overall arcing plot should be the B's, and for the most part, it is. But by the end, it's that and, like, 3 other things that have nothing to do with it. And I'm going, why?
I think it still had something to do with it, though.
It did, and yet didn't. Because it was completely underdeveloped, all the other plots that they added.
I think they definitely should have, like, explained things better, but I do remember it all being connected in some way.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think it's connected.
Well, if you want to talk, like, again, if you want to talk about cutting stuff that is unnecessary, if you're making the B plot your whole plot, your overall arcing conflict and story, then just stick with it. You can cut the other stuff if you're not going to actually do anything with it.
But what if the other stuff kind of explained the bees, which is how I remember it?
I don't remember it explaining shit.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if Gav remembers what I'm remembering.
I think one of the plots had something to do with it, but it still felt like it was just pulled out of someone's ass at the last minute.
It was odd, but I think it was connected.
If it was an actual plot element in the manga, it was definitely expanded upon way more than the manga. At the very least, I hope.
I mean, it's got 9 novels. It probably was more relevant in the novels.
Actually, Gav, like, again, do you remember the ending of this anime? Those plot elements. Was that the end of the 9 volumes, or was that earlier than that?
I don't remember.
Okay, God damn. I don't want to look it up, because I kind of want to read the manga to see how if it, like, does it better.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they're ending with episode 11... with the end of volume 9, I'm like, you fucked up somewhere.
But is there any way to access the novels translated, or no?
I can look it up real quick on Amazon. I'll see if Kindle has it.
We looked for them on Amazon.
I think I just saw the manga on Amazon, so I didn't know.
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there. Even if there's some stuff cut, it was from the same author. The same author did the light novels and the manga.
Right,
I'm more than willing to bet it's a good adaptation.
I'm sure it is. I'm just saying I think there's more descriptions because there's narration in a novel, so it might expand on it even more.
Maybe.
But I'm sure the manga's fine.
Let's see here. Let me pull up the Wikipedia page. So, the novels. It doesn't say that. I'm not at least seeing anywhere that it's been released in like outside of Japan.
Okay.
So
maybe it's like Durarara, where you can find the fan translations and stuff online, but not the real.
I mean, you probably can. It would just, like, having, you know, the right sites, I think.
Yeah.
And then you just have to find a translation that you like.
I don't know.
Because some fan translations are great and some are garbage.
As well as it should from the light novels.
Either way, I would also like to rewatch the entire show, though, because I do remember really loving it in high school, and I don't remember being totally thrown by the ending. I think it was a little weird, but I thought it was connected somehow. Or I don't remember being like, wow, that sucked or anything. So I don't think it's horrible.
I'm not saying that it sucked. I think, one, this is a competently made show. And I think it's good as far as, like, art and stuff. The dub is a little weird. But, like, I think the majority of it is very solid. I just think it's, like, the ending that kind of gets me as, like, you had a very solid build-up to this. And I feel like you whiffed it. And, like, I know the ending isn't always the most important thing, but, like, for me, I like a good ending if it's on a good series. That, like I love a good capstone to stuff, especially if it's not going to have a second season, which, at this point, I'm willing to bet that it's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, you never know. Hey, it's almost 10 years later. Maybe it'll get a movie or something. Like, it's not insane for it to happen.
The closest thing it would get would potentially be a reboot if it's doing that, because everything is getting a reboot these days.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know.
Not saying that getting a reboot for anything is a bad thing. It's great to get another younger audience like introduced to something and to get it like rehyped again, but it's just a thing, and I don't know, it kind of shows there's a lack of newer content coming out, I guess.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I found an English translation on a Blogspot, like, site.
Ooh.
Okay.
Post the link in the chat, please.
Yeah.
I will.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is a situation not dissimilar to what we were talking about last week with Promised Neverland, where it's like I'm probably going to have to watch the rest of this anime and then check out the manga to see, like, where were the differences? Where did something go right or wrong or whatever? Or am I remembering all of this incorrectly? Like, I'm not going to say, cause, again, the last time I watched this was almost 10 years ago. And I'm mostly remembering watching it with a bunch of people going, like, what the hell is happening? So it's possible that maybe I was missing some stuff. I don't know. It's possible. Like, because, like, that was also it was anime club. It was going on at the same time I had that other club activity, so I wasn't always able to be there in attendance every moment. I may have missed something. And maybe they explain everything that I am saying has no explanation. It's possible. I'm not saying that can't happen, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of thinking, like, down the line, because we were talking about this a little bit with Promise Neverland and Shiki, that maybe we should have, like, a let's finish them kind of deal, and at some point come back to revisit these with knowledge of the ending to do, like, a whole full deal of it. Like, I know there's at least one coming up for Chibi that we've all seen in entirety fairly recently. So we can do a full talk on that one.
Yay!
That's true.
But, yeah. I don't expect us to do that with Digimon. That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that with JoJo either when we get to it, because that's so much fucking episodes.
Yeah.
We watched like all of Naruto though. Maybe we can talk about that when we get to it.
That's true. We have.
Oh wait, we're gonna skip that because we already talked about it.
Oh, right.
I forgot.
We
Damn
already
it.
did Naruto.
We'll have our own thing. We'll have our own little side thing.
Sure. I'll talk about Naruto.
That wouldn't be bad actually. Why don't we do that at some point?
We can.
Yeah, you guys can take the night off whenever we get to the number 2s and we do my Naruto one. It'll just be me and Yin, just 3 hours of like all our thoughts on everything.
All the 100-some episodes.
Yeah. I don't know. So, what else about this? What else haven't we talked about here?
Animation.
I think the animation and a lot of the character design and stuff is not like general design of this place is really nice. I like the city. I like the look of it and how you kind of have like some different areas. You got the big hexagonal beehive. It's clearly the bees have to do with the government. It's a government conspiracy. The bees. I don't think anyone would be surprised at that at all.
No.
But you know, it's very cool. It's very futuristic, and you have other spots in the city that look a little more modern as opposed to futuristic. You're kind of seeing like I like how they show the differences in the economic classes. That it's a big portion of the show is like this, like classism is a big problem in this world, and then you get out to the slums and like everything about the color palette is completely different. And yeah, I think yeah, it's got some really good art. Anyone else want to talk about that? I didn't steal everybody's thoughts, did I?
No, I was just gonna jump in and say something about the classicism thing that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just sort of like that, and like big bad government is just kind of like a couple of common tropes that you'll usually see in like dystopian sci-fi. Mostly just because like those are the sorts of things that will lead to a utopian dystopian society. Because that is essentially what number 6 is. It's a utopia. But we know from like seeing the different circumstances of the people throughout the story that it's definitely not that.
Mm-mm.
So also bees?
Bees. This is reminding me of like I needed to see some movie a while ago. Oh, what was it? It was like a movie in the 70s about like killer bees. And I think Michael Caine was in it.
Ooh.
Michael Caine or someone else. Oh god, what am I thinking of? It was like, but it's like panned as like one of the worst movies and in turn one of the best movies to watch ironically. Or just like making fun of it.
I could ask my brother. He might know. Because he and his friends kind of watch bad movies
The
together.
Swarm. 1978. That's it.
Swarm.
10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which means 90% for everybody else.
Wow.
Scientist Dr. Bradford Crane and Army General Thalius Slater join forces to fight an almost invisible enemy threatening America, killer bees that have deadly venom and attack without reason. Disaster movie master Irwin Allen's film contains spectacular special effects, including a train crash caused by the eponymous swarm.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, it's got Henry Fonda, too. Yeah, this is getting me in a bee mood.
Are you going to watch the Bee Movie as well?
You know, I watch it every week. I'll give it a break. This is the same guy who made... This is the same guy who made The Poseidon Adventure and The Towering Inferno. Any movie buffs out there know that those are like the disaster movies that set off like that disaster movie trend back in the day. And they were not great. I mean, they're kind of hilarious watching in hindsight, but...
But yes, Yin, to answer your question, I've never seen the Bee Movie.
Wow. Now we all have to watch it.
Oh no.
I mean, it's basically anime.
You have to suffer.
I mean, I know the basic plot, so that's why I've never watched it.
Well.
What, the Bee Movie?
Yeah.
You gotta watch the Bee Movie.
See?
Oh no.
Now
Is that what we're doing this weekend? Are we watching the Bee Movie?
Yes.
I mean, we might have to.
Now we are.
Yeah. It's like the Bee Movie, the Lorax.
I haven't seen that one either.
Lorax sucks.
The Lorax is great.
It's a meme movie.
Sucks.
It's a meme.
Barely a meme movie. What memes came out of the Lorax? Bee
I
movie
mean,
is a meme
you were
movie.
obviously
is
you were
more-
not paying
The
attention
One
to
Slur is
Tumblr
the
in like
only thing that
2012.
came out of the Lorax. You had Danny DeVito as the Lorax, and that's not the big draw.
The big draw was the One Slur. Everyone, he was Tumblr's
Yeah.
like fancy man. He was like
yeah,
the
I get
Tumblr
that, but that's all you
heartthrob.
got. What else happens in the movie other than the One Slur? What
Nothing.
funny else happens? Yeah, exactly. The Bee Movie, they have something in every scene.
Sure.
But the Onceler became a meme himself.
The Bee Movie is a meme full of memes. It is literally a hive of memes.
We'll see.
We're gonna watch these back to back, and Bee Movie's gonna beat its ass.
We should watch them back to back.
Oh
You
god.
just want to ruin my weekend, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So join us next week when we go over the Bee Movie.
No, you want to talk about... I'm going to tell you what we're going to watch next week. We want to go into what we're going to see next week? I'll show you something really good next week. Next week, we got my number 4 is up. Code Geass. You want a show with a good-ass ending and a good-ass everything else? There you go.
We're only watching 3 episodes.
Well, you're going to want to watch more when I'm done.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, all right, you know what? I can describe it for you in 10 words or less. You ready?
Okay.
Death Note with Gundams and an amazing ending. Sorry, and a better ending.
Better. That's a
It has a
low
way
bar.
better... Well, okay, granted. A lot of things have a way better ending than Death Note.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Death Note with Gundams on its own.
Alright.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Plus, you want to talk about memes. Code Geass gave us Code Ment. And,
I mean-
and the height
True.
comedy peaked in 2015 with I'm at Soup.
Soup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Soup.
So, there you go.
Yep.
Yep. Come back next week for the 4th of July when we talk about a giant robot anime about a nation that invades other people's countries and imposes its will. Okay, you know what? It's going to get a little too political here in a minute. Yeah, come back for Code Geass next week, everybody.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!